Hi, I'm Rich Russell with the Canadian Wildlife Service. Let's talk about how to set up the audio recording equipment for a digital point count survey. We've provided kits to regional coordinators that include these little audio recorders in a zippered case and these small little flexible tripods. We've also put together a cheat sheet with some reminders of some of the settings and the details of how to use it. First thing to point out is that audio recording and acoustic interpretation of those recordings has become a standard method in bird monitoring projects, especially in CWS across Canada recently. We've been using this particular model, the Zoom H2N, since about 2015, and it's great because it's easy, you can carry it with you, and it's got a stereo microphone, so that really helps in the interpretation to distinguish individuals singing from left and right. There's a couple of things though that you should know if you're carrying this around with you. There's some buttons that are easy to accidentally dislodge. One of them is right in the very top. There's a dial with some settings. Make sure that the arrow is pointed to 2-channel, 2CH. That ensures that it's going to record in stereo. On the side, there's a dial called microphone gain. There's a little red dot. Make sure that the 10 is turned to line up with the red dot. To turn on the power, there's a toggle that you can slide down. You slide it down and hold it for a couple seconds, and then you should see it wake up. Okay? When you turn it on, it's not automatically recording. That's the red dot button down here when you want to record. There's a standard tripod socket on the bottom. So this, whether you use your regular full-size tripod or this little one, it's just a standard 1/4-20 thread. The idea to find a place to put it is to have the height of it approximately ear level, and keep it upright so that the stereo actually means left and right. Okay. With the flexible legs, you can attach it to almost anything. If there's not a boulder or a stump or a fallen log or something like that to put it on, that's high enough. So whether there's a big branch horizontally or even a small tree like this, as long as you can bend it so that it's relatively upright. Another easy option is just plunking it on the top of a broken off snag, anything like that. Okay, so that's the easy part. There's a couple of things that we want everybody to announce after you hit the start button, so that you can make sure that we know exactly where the recorder was and what date and who was the one, who was the observer to tie it to. Because of we're using speech-to-text processing, so when you announce your name and date, you're going to need to speak really clearly so that the speech-to-text processing can guarantee that the details are not jumbled. Okay, so the things to say are your name, the date and time, the atlas square you're in, the coordinates, or the point number if you're standing at a designated on-road or off-road point from your square map, and then I'll demonstrate the next steps. Okay, so. And I can see that the seconds are increasing, so I know that the recording is happening. You may not be able to see the little red light, so just make sure that you check that the time is increasing. Okay, so you make sure you want to know what atlas square you're in. You want to have something that lets you know what the date and time is, and your coordinates, whether that be a GPS unit or a GPS app on your phone, or the Nature Counts app on your phone, anything to get the latitude, longitude, or down to 5 decimal points, or the UTM coordinates. If you're at an off-road location that's not a designated point. Okay, so Rich Russell, May 14, 2021, 8:32 a.m. Eastern. Square 18T, VR22, latitude 45.35049, longitude 76.01202. Now's the point where I step away, and then I'll about 5 meters, so that sounds from me don't influence the recording, and then I'll say start. Start. Stop. So let's pretend that was 5 minutes. Make sure it stops. Turn the power off. And then pack it away for your next point. Just a couple of notes on being quiet. Some of the sounds that you might not realize are distracting are shuffling your feet, especially dry leaves or sand and gravel. Those sounds are quite distracting on the recordings. Other sounds that can be distracting are if you're wearing Gore-Tex or other similar shell that makes loud sounds when you're crinkling, like brushing mosquitoes off your face. Those sounds are quite distracting for the interpreters. Yeah, so those are the basics of doing the recording. When you get back home, you can either coordinate with your regional coordinator to upload the files, or there's instructions on the cheat sheet as well. Okay, and you can either take the SD card out from the bottom of the Zoom unit and put it in a SD card reader slot in a computer, or there's a USB cable that you can attach into the standard USB slot of the computer and do a transfer that way too. Okay, so it's all pretty easy. Just remember to be as quiet as you can, and when the recording's happening, and to find a good suitable spot to set it up. And remember, print and bring with you your cheat sheet. The other thing, if you're doing a whole morning of these, make sure you have an extra pair of AA batteries. These just take standard AA batteries, and they should last a couple of days of doing point counts all day, but it's one of those things that it's pretty easy to pack with you. Okay? Alright, good birding.